This regular meeting of the Detroit Lake City Council is called to order, and I'd like to invite all of you at this time to please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is approval of the regular agenda as presented, and I would entertain a motion for its approval.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the regular agenda. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The consent agenda is before the council. All items with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered separately in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience or any member of the council that wishes to make any changes, additions, or remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for its approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as printed. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. The minutes of the regular city council meeting, which was held on March 11th, 2025, and a special city council meeting held April 3rd, 2025, are before the council. Does anyone in the audience or any member of the council wish to make any changes, corrections, or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved. Second.
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 11th and a special meeting held April 3rd. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Rick Shara of West Central Initiative is here this evening, and he'd like to present their annual update. Welcome, Rick. Please come up to the podium if you would.
Thank you. I think also on your agenda, we have Mary Beth.
We do.
Yes, and so is Mary Beth here?
Yes, she is.
All right, there she is. You come on up too, because I'm going to put you in the front, because to start out things, I'm with West Central Initiative, and we did a kind of a fun project in February for Valentine's Day month, and we put the notice out in our 9-county area. We'd like you to write a love letter to your city. And we had 45 entries, love letters to different cities, and we picked out 4: Alexandria, Wheaton, I'm going to forget the other one, but Detroit Lakes was one, and Mary Beth wrote a nice letter. So if you would permit us for her to sit back and enjoy this love letter to your community.
Okay. Thank you, Mary Beth. Welcome.
Well, I will point out that writing a love letter is one thing, reading it aloud to the object of your affection is another, and then throw in an audience and cameras and, okay. So I did promise Carrie that I would do this for her, and then Hans promised me a beer, so here we go. Dear Detroit Lakes, there's never a dull moment with you, made all the more exciting by your local events, people, and seasons. Right now, you're a little tough to love with wind chills below 0, but winter is one of your quirks we complain about but secretly love. It's part of our identity and traditions, like Polarfest with its ice fishing, plunging, kite flying, golf, and fireworks on the lake. When the air doesn't hurt our faces, we can ski or tube at Detroit Mountain or snowshoe and watch wildlife at Tamarack. We might go curling or curl up with a good book, but we appreciate the option to keep busy or hibernate as needed. Of course, we look forward to when your lakes become liquid again. We get antsy to start digging in the dirt, playing in your parks, hiking and biking on your trails. We know spring tends to be sporadic and brief, but we love watching the migration and return of our feathered and non-feathered friends. When summer hits, you burst into full bloom. You're a gracious host, throwing party after party to make everyone feel welcome. Street Fair, 4th of July, Water Carnival, Becker County Fair, Wee Fest, Pine to Palm, Ojibwe Rally, plus giant flower pots with poems, area powwows, cruise nights, trucks and tunes, farmers markets, flea markets, Ligers games, and lake life filling all the gaps in between. When Labor Day hits, we kiss summer goodbye and embrace autumn, mainly because we don't have a choice. You've already turned off the heater on the lakes and turned on the morning alarm for school. But the return to routine and seasonal departure of flora, fauna, and snowbirds are part of your rhythm of life. Eventually, we realize we're ready for a slower pace and less traffic. We love watching Mother Nature's season finale in a blaze of glorious color, then waking up to a white world as we gear up for a sequence of holiday traditions made extra special by those who live year-round. In fact, your locals lovingly serve up fun all year long in their establishments where we can eat, drink, shop, and be merry. We enjoy both homemade and world-class talent on the historic home stage, unique opportunities for laughter and learning at our Carnegie Library and Becker County Museum, all seasons of sporting events that fill us with Laker pride, and beautiful places to commune with nature, some protected by our very own trolls. But honestly, besides all your cool places, arts, and events, what I love most are your people. When someone needs help, DL pitches in. When something needs to get done, DL rolls up its sleeves. We don't always agree, but we do love like family, as imperfect as that is. And if someone doesn't feel included or valued, that is where our work lies, because deep down, as a community, Detroit Lakes, you strive to be and do better, always. Love, Mary Beth Gilsdorf.
Any questions from Norm? She also, we also had a financial gift, a prize, if you will, to the city too. So you might have gotten that, and what you do with that is up to you. So whoever makes that decision makes that decision. So again, thank you for having us here. This is my first city council meeting of 2025. I probably did about 23, 25 of these in our 9 counties last summer. So we're fairly busy on Monday, Tuesday nights, every second, third. You know how the city council meetings are for. And but I really love it because you do get out and meet people and connect one-on-one, and that's a lot of what my job is. What I handed out today before you, on the front, you'll see there's a facsimile of a check. I gave them all out, so I don't have any facsimiles, but you notice the amount there? Is it 20?
12.
12, okay, 12. So about $12 million. Since we started West Central Initiative in 1986, in the form of grants, business loans, component fund distribution, and in all the other facets of our work that we do in West Central Minnesota. So that's kind of a overview of us, and we will be celebrating our 40th year in next 2026. And now, I don't know if you know, Jackie is on our board of our West Central Initiative, and I don't know if, Jackie, if you'd want to say a few things or not.
I can, Rick. Thank you. Yes, so I serve on the board of West Central Initiative and have for several years. The organization's breadth and depth is just quite amazing, and what you see in front of you in this publication is really just a glimpse of the hard work that the staff does every day for our 9-county, the 9-county area that they cover. A lot of relationship building, a lot of resources, a lot of conversations about how West Central can really lift up communities, lift up programs, lift up people. So the work is amazing, like I said, and it's a privilege to be on the board.
Yes, thank you. Also in your packet, there's a one-pager, and if you use that, in the back of that one-pager is kind of a quick glance at all the programs that we're working on currently. I won't go through this is our annual report. It's been out about a month, and I've got a few extra. If people in the audience want one, I'd be happy to hand them out. I love doing that. But just as you look through there, the early childhood, we work in economic development, rural belonging. And toward the back, you'll see kind of our contributors on page 26. On the right side, there's 2024 at a glance, just a one-year snapshot of the work we do. But the contributors includes the city of Detroit Lakes. The contributors, you say the cities and the counties are there because we are the economic development district representative for this area. The Minnesota Association of Development Organizations, there's about 12 around rural Minnesota. And we are the only one that is a 501c3 nonprofit. So when we come before you and we make a request for your support to the cities, to the small towns, it's because we don't have the levy power of other development districts do in the state as a nonprofit. So we ask nicely, and we really enjoy support from the cities and counties. And that's why that facsimile check is important, because that's for your investment. I want to say it's kind of a donation, but it's kind of an investment in us to continue the work and do some of the things we do in the area. So I don't have just take a look at it, and if you have any questions right now, I can entertain, or I want to thank you for your time otherwise.
Any questions for Rick?
No, but I'd like to say that Detroit Lakes has gotten back way more than we've ever given, and we thank West Central for that.
Thank you, Ron.
And Rick, I got your card. I'll give you a call and we'll have coffee sometime.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yep, thank you, I love that.
Thank you again for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Barry Schroeder's here this evening, and he'd like to speak to the council this evening about prayer at the beginning of our meetings. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate the opportunity. I feel I'm in good company when we say we pledge allegiance to the flag, one nation, under God, indivisible. And so I'm here today, I feel I'm here today in obedience to what God has asked me to do, and I trust that you'll consider as seriously what I'm about to say as I consider seriously being here. The proposal is submitted on behalf of a group of like-minded citizens who believe that acknowledging God in our governmental deliberations is not only reasonable and prudent, but indispensable to wise leadership. This proposal is being submitted simultaneously to the three elected governing bodies in our community, the Becker County Commissioners, the City Council, and the School Board. It's inspired by the long-standing precedent of the legislative bodies at both national and state levels. Every session of the United States Senate and the House of Representatives, as well as their counterparts at the state level, is opened in prayer. This practice has been in place since the 1800s. Each of these bodies has a designated chaplain who serves for 2 years. The incumbents have represented various denominations. All have been Christians. Most recently, the President of the United States has also introduced the practice of opening his cabinet meetings in prayer. It's a great comfort to the voting public to know that their elected servants are looking to God for direction in their decision-making responsibilities. And just as an aside, I would be willing to volunteer to help put this program together if you give it favorable consideration. It just seems to me that if they need God's assistance at the national level and the state level, it almost seems reasonable that we might need that same assistance at this level, which is really where some major decisions are made. So thanks for the opportunity, Matt.
You're welcome, Barry. Any questions for Barry? Otherwise, I'm going to refer this to our Community Development Committee, I think would be the appropriate place. Typically, Barry, we discuss these at the committee level and then come to a recommendation. So we would have this on our committee agenda for next month.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump around here a little bit because there's people here for various things. I'd like to do the public hearing E, so at this time, I'll close the regular meeting and call to order a public hearing to receive public comments on the proposed intoxicating and Sunday liquor licenses for Shorewood Bar and Grill. And Kelsey, do you want to introduce us?
Mayor and council, as you probably have heard, there is a new owner of the Shorewood Bar and Grill. Per our ordinance, we have to have a public hearing and take comments on issuance of that. Even though it's not necessarily a new application, we do have new owners, so we need to have the public hearing on it.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to ask any questions or make any comments on the proposed intoxicating and Sunday liquor licenses for Shorewood Bar and Grill? Hearing none, that public hearing is closed, and I would entertain a motion from the council.
Your Honor, we discussed this at the Liquor and Gambling Committee this afternoon. We recommend approval, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the issuance of an intoxicating and Sunday liquor license for Shorewood Bar and Grill. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Is there anyone else here for the public hearings? If not, I'll delay those and we'll move on to some other items. The first of which I'd like to take would be item 9A, which is on the Liquor Committee agenda, and I'd call on Sean to take that one.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Item 9A, consideration to approving a times 100 / Lakes Liquor Billboard Plan. And I would invite Amy Stearns forward to give us a brief overview of the proposal and the opportunity.
I thought you just came to see your husband.
Well, it's nice to see him. I don't see him all the time.
I even dressed up.
He's been traveling, so it's good to see him. Welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sean, for this opportunity. I just wanted to share with you, I have a little gift for you, Mayor. This is the Times Magazine, where Detroit Lakes is listed. And as I mentioned at the Liquor and Gambling Committee meeting, this started back in end of January, early February. I received a call that Detroit Lakes and the Thomas Dombo Troll Exhibition was being considered for inclusion in the world's list, for world's greatest places for 2025. And I joked with Mike and a few others that no matter what, I would always say we were 101, even if we didn't get it, because at least we're under consideration, right? And then we found out that it was announced publicly on March 13th that we were included in the list. And it's unbelievable. This is the magazine. Here's the world, and there's the little DL right there. And then this is really special. They did not do an article on every site, but they did include one about our trolls here. And so this is just wonderful. And they were also on their website, of course, and their social. And on March 13th, we could blast it all over the place as much as we wished. And Thomas Dombo shared it, and we shared it, the city shared it, lots of places shared it, which was just wonderful. And of course, as these things go, there's a licensing opportunity to use their big red square that they have, which is kind of their symbol. And so that's what the Liquor and Gambling Group was looking at, considering, and having that possibly be part of a billboard campaign or something for Lakes Liquor. So this is just a wonderful opportunity. If I may, I'll give this to you to have as a souvenir copy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we're also looking at being able to have a stand-up pop-up banner that could be displayed in the City Hall and a few other places around town, just to highlight this incredible opportunity. So it's really great to be included. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Amy? Well, thank you, and thank you for the copy.
Thank you. Just one other thing. I think we all should be gearing up as a city because I'm hearing a lot of stories of people who are coming to DL this summer. So I anticipate a busy summer of troll hunters looking for DL, and this inclusion in time will help with that too. So thank you, everyone.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Amy. We discussed this at some length at the Liquor and Gambling Control Committee. There's not a specific fixed budget, still kind of negotiating the licensing fees, but the discussion was that the liquor store could fund the licensing cost for 2 years of billboard licensing from Time Magazine. And so based on our discussion, I would move that we approve up to $6,500 from the liquor fund for 2 years of billboard licensing from Time Magazine.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to appropriate $6,500 for 2 years of billboard cost from the liquor fund. Is there discussion by the council?
The only thing I want to say about this is that I'm fine with us giving this first $6,500, but as you know, we have over 400 members in our Chamber of Commerce, and we also have a lodging tax that we collect to promote our city. And I'm hoping that we can get a hold of all these members that we have in the chamber, because many of them do billboard advertising, and hopefully we get these right people together. If we all work together and each buy a few apiece, we could have a lot of advertising, but it's gonna be down just to the city liquor store. It's not gonna get very far. So we need a lot of help from a lot of people to promote this. And I think the right spot is to start with the lodging tax and to start with the chamber and see how many people do advertise on billboards and see if we can get their cooperation with helping promote this.
Okay, are there further comments?
I think there needs to be some clarification that these monies are dedicated to pay the licensing fee to Time Magazine, but not directly for the actual cost of the billboards. So this is just the licensing fee charge.
That's correct. And so that was the general discussion was, there's a timing consideration with the licensing. And then we'll be looking for a further plan on additional billboards, advertising, what Ron mentioned about working with the community, the tourism board and all those things. But we wanted to make sure we had funds in place to be able to get the licensing as soon as that opportunity arrives so we can keep it moving forward.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Without objection, I'd like to move to Finance Committee Agenda Item 7B.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Item 7B is consideration to approving a lease agreement with Apple Tree Dental for the old Public Works office building. This lease agreement is in your packet. It is a 3-year lease with a 3% escalator annual on this. We discussed this at Finance. It was a unanimous decision to move this forward, so I so move.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a lease agreement with Apple Tree Dental for the old Public Works office building. Is there discussion?
I'd just like to say that we had an opportunity a couple years ago to approve an apple tree, and it didn't go through for us the way I was hoping it would. So we've got a second chance at it, and I'm so happy that they want to come back and give us an opportunity to serve a whole lot of kids and adults that would never get dental care unless they had this opportunity. And we've got a couple ladies here that they maybe want to speak about how many people they've been serving already over in the old warehouse food building that's owned by Essentia now. So, I mean, I think those numbers, it just shows you already, well, even having a really permanent site here, what happens on that, if you could maybe do that.
Come on up. Thanks for coming tonight.
Yes, thanks for having us. My name's Amy Jo Lashowski, and I am the center director at the Holly office in Detroit Lakes. I live here actually in Detroit Lakes. And this is Jane.
Hello, I'm Jane Neubauer, and I am a project consultant that actually works with West Central Initiative too. I saw Rick was here earlier. And just help doing some support work with Apple Tree to come to Detroit Lakes.
So we have been since 2010. Been coming and just doing an outreach clinic for children only, and we would come twice a year, see children, come back, do some restorative work, and then if there were any additional needs, they would have to come to the Holly office to finish those treatment needs. We were approached because there was such a high need, and so we took on this project, and we started opening it up to adults as of September. So September 5th was our first, full functioning kind of day. We are functioning with the staff that works at Holly, with the exception of one part-time hygienist that works 2 days a week, and she only wants to be at this site here in Detroit Lakes. So far since September, we have seen 854 patients to date, and of those, the pro fees, and so that would be cleanings, x-rays, that kind of stuff, preventative, we've seen 677 patients, and the restorative work is 177 patients. So that restorative work currently is being done by our advanced dental therapist. And maybe for those that don't know what an advanced dental therapist is, it's kind of like a nurse practitioner, but for the dental field. So they are, able to do dental treatment, but maybe not the extensive stuff. No root canals, no, surgical extractions, those kind of things. But they can do simple extractions, work on children and adults, do stainless steel crowns, temporary crown kind of things. And that kind of work. So ideally, our goal would be eventually to have a 6-operatory clinic built here. Right now, we're using our mobile equipment. It looks just like a normal dental chair, has all the compressors and all of that to run and function like a normal dental chair, but it's all on wheels, so we can take it in and out. So there won't be any changes to the building itself, besides taking out the carpet and putting in some flooring that Apple Tree will pay for and refreshing it with some paint. So,
Okay, well, like Ron said, we're really glad to have you here. We appreciate it.
excited for the opportunity, so.
You're welcome. So is there further discussion? We have a motion, a second on the table, right?
Yes.
As I recall.
Yes.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Again, thanks.
Thank you.
Without objection, I'd like to take item 6A and B on the Public Works Committee agenda. Jason Breslin's here from the Disabled American Veteran Group and the VFW, and so, Matt, are you gonna take that one? Okay.
Item 6A, Your Honor, is discussion regarding the VFW parking lot. This was discussion at Public Works yesterday, that the VFW potentially might be looking at purchasing a lot to the west of them. This is just a discussion item, so more to come on that, as they'd be looking to purchase a lot with VFW funds, but then donate it back to the city for a public parking lot. So more to come on that next month. Item 6B is consideration approving the purchase of the DAV dock. Mr. King, would you fill us in on that one? And happy birthday, by the way.
Happy 50th birthday.
Yes, Mayor and Council, so
Youngster.
the DAV dock, I've been working with DAV, and we did finally come up with what we feel is the best dock that we could purchase. And I did hand out some new quotes for what the dock is. It's $100, it was off $100 in your packet. It's actually $100 cheaper. But the DAV raised all that money, and we will be purchasing it through the city, but with the DAV funds.
We discussed this yesterday at Public Works. Very appreciative of the DAV that has raised this funds. It's gonna help not only DL residents, but other residents of the area, help get in and out of the lake and that, so we're very appreciative. I so move to make this donation request.
Second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the purchase of the DAV dock. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
So Jason, please let your members know how much we appreciate their generosity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And I just want to say thanks to Sean. He's been a big help. And I mean, he knows that it's our intention still to see handicap accessible spots on the fishing pier as that comes together. And then another, a swim area. So we're still working that. So not the last thing to see of this, but the dock is a huge win. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Jason, just to clarify, did you guys already buy that parking lot?
Yeah.
You already, it's already purchased,
We own
right?
that outright,
Okay.
and that I thought was tabled yesterday, so I didn't think that discussion was gonna happen today, but.
Yep.
Okay,
And we'll go further discussion next month.
Yep, absolutely. Thank
very good. Thanks again.
West, so kind of behind the.
And without objection, I'd like to move to Community Development Committee, item 5E, and I would call on Chairwoman Spry.
Okay, item E is consideration to a resolution approving the conditional use permit to allow a planned unit development for a self-storage facility with enclosed and outdoor storage at 1397 Wenner Road. The committee reviewed this yesterday, and we agreed to recommend that the city council approve that resolution. Did you want to add anything to that?
We approved this a year ago, but they've changed the number of units that they're having, so they'll have 392 rental units at the site. So it's basically an amended conditional use permit, but we're issuing it as a new one.
Okay. And
The committee discussed it yesterday, and I move to pass that resolution.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded to approve a conditional use permit to allow a planned unit development for self-storage to Menards Incorporated. Discussion on the motion.
Just a thank you to Menards. I know we've been working on this for a couple of years now, and they, at our request, moved the site to help kind of accommodate other future growth there. So thank you for doing that.
Further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Is there anyone else in the audience this evening that has an item you'd like adjusted? Yes, ma'am. What item would that be?
Not adjusted, sir, but I just wanted to address the construction and curb of gutter
Oh, okay.
sidewalk repairs. I'm here representing the Lincoln Professional.
Okay, I will take that item right now. So I will adjourn the regular meeting and call to order a public hearing to receive public comments on the proposed improvement of curb, gutter, concrete approaches, bituminous, and sidewalks for 2025. And now would be the time if you'd like to come up and address the council about your questions or comments. And if you would identify yourself in your address for our minutes, please.
Yes, my name is Belinda Reeb. I know a few of you here. I am one of the owners and representing the rest of the owners of the Lincoln Professional Building,
Okay,
910 on Lincoln Avenue. And those sidewalks there are deteriorated and they're a safety hazard. So I did reach out to Sean King and had addressed those. And I did see they made your notification today. Thank you for that, and thank you for considering that and having that done. We are perfectly good with our share of the cost with that. We also kind of wanted to make a plug. I know the road in front of there was a consideration at one point, I think, when you had looked at doing all the roads, and all the roads were done around it. The road in front of us in Bremer kind of connects the hospitals and then, the main road to the
Home
other
Street.
side. Yeah, I forget which street that was. And that parking lot is used for the city, for Main Street events. The one that, we pay, for through, the owners that own that. So we're just looking even down the road for consideration of maybe redoing that frontage road. And if some of that is assessed back to us, we would consider that as well. So just wanted to make a plug for that.
okay. Well, we'll have our city engineer put it on his future
Okay.
list to consider. Thank you.
You just got a thumbs up there. so
Okay,
good.
thank you.
It's on his
I
list.
think it was there, and I think it got scratched at some point, so, yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Have
Thank
a
you.
good night.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak to the proposed improvements to curb gutter, concrete approaches, bituminous, and sidewalks? Hearing none, that public hearing is closed, and I would entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to order the improvement of curb gutter, concrete approaches, bituminous, and sidewalks for 2025. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Anyone else that has anything they want adjusted? Okay, if not, at this time, I'll adjourn the regular meeting and call to order a public hearing to receive public comments on the matter of annexing property in Detroit Township at 26208 North Tower Road. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions or wishes to make a comment regarding that annexation? Larry, do you have anything you want to explain about that to the council?
This is a half-acre lot. It's adjacent to the Detroit Town Hall. And the owner would like to have it annexed into the city and zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential.
Okay. Hearing no comments, That public hearing's closed, and I would entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to, what is our motion? We're gonna rezone and annex, is that correct?
That is correct.
Both, okay. Rezone to R2 and annex 26208 North Tower Road. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And hearing no other requests to adjust anything, I believe we were at the Community Development Committee agenda. Chairwoman Spry.
Thank you. Item 5A is for consideration to the first reading of ordinance number 537, amending section 20 of the zoning ordinance, rezoning property from I-1 light industrial to I-2 heavy industrial district at 983 Richwood Road.
Larry, do you want to comment on that?
There's not much more to add to that. It's really just a request to change the zoning. The Development Authority is issuing a request for proposals to do gravel mining at that site because there's a lot of material that can be removed and used in the community. And so they would like to see that happen. In order to do that, the property has to be zoned I-2 and there will have to be a conditional use permit granted. That conditional use permit request will come later.
Okay, Wendy, do you have a motion?
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to give first reading to ordinance 537, rezoning 983 Richwood Road from I-1 to I-2. Discussion on the motion?
I would like to point out from the from the Planning Commission, there were several folks that addressed this, and they were concerned about it becoming heavy industrial. And so we made sure to include an intent statement. We can't bind a future council to bring it back to I-1, but we made sure to include an intent statement that, the intention is to do the mining and bring this back
Right.
at some future date.
Okay. Further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, and ordinance 537 has been given first reading. Wendy?
Item B, consideration to resolution approving the variance to allow a 50 by 64 foot addition to a building with a 19-foot setback instead of the required 40-foot setback at 939 Cormorant Avenue.
Larry?
This is a request by Great North Pizza for a 19-foot rear yard setback for the addition that they want to put on their building. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on this matter and recommends approval, and the Community Development Committee also recommends approval.
Okay. Wendy, do you have a motion?
Yes, I have a motion. The Community Development Committee did review this yesterday, and I so move to approve the variance.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a variance at 939 Cormorant Avenue. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item C is in regard to approving the preliminary plat and final plat approval of Brown Lot Estates at 26208 North Tower Road and 1774 North Tower Road. Larry, do you want to share?
This is a two-lot residential plat on North Tower Road. It includes part of the area that we are annexing, so this approval will not take effect until after the annexation is finalized as well.
Okay. Wendy, do you have a motion?
I guess I'm a little confused as to the next step here. If we can't approve it until the,
We can approve it, but it won't be effective until the annexation is finalized.
okay, I apologize.
And this is first reading also,
Correct.
right? Okay, Wendy.
Okay. Our committee met on this yesterday, and we would move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to give preliminary and final plat approval at 26208 North Tower Road and 1774 North Tower Road. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item F, consideration to a resolution approving the final plat of Marty's Acres at 2577 US Highway 10 West. Do you want
This
to
is a
share any
four-lot
additional-
commercial plat, and this is the final plat approval. It meets all of the requirements.
Our committee considered this yesterday, and we agreed to move this forward, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt a resolution approving the final plat of Marty's Acres at 2577 Highway 10 West. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item G, I believe Charlie would like to talk about that before we make a motion.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Certainly. Mayor and council, so I think most of the council's been aware that we've been in negotiations with Lakeview Township to complete the annexation by an orderly annexation agreement of the Wendell property. You may also recall that we did start a proceeding to annex that property by what is called order, which would require a decision of administrative law judge. During the process of that, we had numerous negotiations with Lakeview Township as well as with the property owner, and we believe that we have an agreement. The resolution constitutes that agreement. It effectively would annex the area immediately. There is a reimbursement to the township for a portion of the real estate taxes over a period of 4 years. The landowner has not objected to this and in fact has indicated his agreement. And although his agreement is not necessary for the orderly annexation agreement, Lakeview Township is scheduled to address this identical resolution, because it's a joint resolution, at their meeting next Monday. And so the request of staff is that the council adopt this joint resolution to be able to complete this annexation by orderly annexation.
Thank you, Charlie. This Community Development Committee did discuss this yesterday and agree that we would recommend that the council approve a resolution and agreement for the orderly annexation by and between Lakeview Township and the City of Detroit Lakes and Settlement of Minnesota Office of Administrator Hearings 71-0330.4538 pursuant to Minnesota Statute 4.0325. I'm struggling.
You're doing
So I'm
great.
so moved.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to adopt a joint resolution and agreement for orderly annexation by and between Lakeview Township and the City of Detroit Lakes. And I won't read all those numbers. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, anything further, Wendy?
Nothing further.
Okay. We are up to the Public Works Committee agenda. Matt, are you taking that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 6C, consideration of the first reading of ordinance 539, amending City Code 502 and 503. The red line changes are in your packet, but I'm going to kick it off to Mr. Clem to hit the highlights.
Mayor and council, this ordinance makes some kind of clean up a few things in our ordinance chapters 502 and 503. There's a deletion of a section of 502.02 that deals with receipts. It's just not a process we followed for years. The way we handle it with doing a lot more of them online as well. Then we get into some clarification on 503.03 again. The red line versions are in your packet, so you can see what the exact changes are. One of the things is we had it inconsistent on when you have to have your dogs vaccinated, dog and cats vaccinated, so we're clarifying that that is at 3 months. So we removed the 4-month reference that was in there before. We've also had some inconsistency on how we treated rabbits and guinea pigs. We used to have a provision with a cap of number of rabbits and guinea pigs that was tied to dogs and cats. We do not license guinea pigs and rabbits. In fact, the current ordinance under exceptions already exempts rabbits. So we're just basically clarifying that section C deals with just dogs and cats, and then the exemptions includes guinea pigs. We also had clean up some old references to 503A used to be the old reference for the chapter. The A is gone, so we are deleting the A from those references, so it's all 503, chapter 503. So that's real quick version.
Thank you. Just to note, this is the first reading, and we did not touch the chicken ordinance with this. It still stays as is. So, with discussion at Public Works yesterday, I moved this for approval.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to give first reading to ordinance 539. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. First reading of ordinance 539 is given.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 6D, consideration of the request from Becker County for a trail study funding. Mr. Clem?
Mayor and council, I believe the action was to table this till next month. In the packet, there is the RFP that Becker County put out seeking proposals from consultants to help with basically look at different trail routes from the Dunton Locks area where the trail ends now, how to get that over to Shoreham, Bucks Mill area. I believe the suggestion was to wait to see what the outcome is of the proposals. I believe Lakeview Township is also taking this up next week. They're gonna make a contribution to the study as well. So I think we'll just wait to see what all that comes in at next month.
And also, Partnership for Health is also kicking in this as well.
Yeah,
More to
Partnership
come
for
next
Health is funding the bulk of it. I believe it's a $15,000 grant towards the study.
Yep. So more to come next month. 6E, consideration of a resolution approving plans and specs and ordering advertised for bids on Southwood Shores Estates street and utility improvement projects. Mr. Pratt?
Mayor and Council, we're working on wrapping up the design for this project, and I expect that we'll be wrapped up here in the next week or two, which would allow us to issue the advertisement for bids and get bids in all likelihood in advance of the May council meeting. So we're asking for approval tonight and authorization to bid.
Discussed this yesterday at Public Works, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt a resolution approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids on the Southwood Shores Estate Street and Utility Improvement Project. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 6F, consideration of a resolution approving plans and specs and ordering advertising for bids of Shorewood Drive Street Development Project. I'm going to keep it short. Mr. Pratt's just going to go out, get bids, and keep moving.
Same story as the previous item, correct?
We discussed this Public Works, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve plans and specifications and order advertisement for bids for the Shorewood Drive Street Improvement Project. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 6G, consideration of a resolution approving the county project within municipal corporate limits for Westlake Drive Phase 3.
Yep, Mayor and Council, a little bit of a unusual thing here, but whenever the county is doing a project, even though we're doing a cooperative project with them on Westlake Drive, MnDOT requires that the city pass a resolution approving that county project within the corporate limits. So this is somewhat of a housekeeping item.
This was discussed at Public Works. We all agreed with it, so I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a county project within the municipal corporate limits for the Westlake Drive Phase 3 project. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor. The last item is item 6H, consideration accepting the city engineer monthly project report. Mr. Pratt?
Yep, Mayor and Council, just a couple of items maybe this evening. We've already touched on Southwood Shore Estates. The water tower project, there's continuing activity on that project. They've wrapped up all the foundation work, and now the site contractors started work this week with some grading, getting the access road in, backfilling the foundation and things like that. And then the pedestal crew also showed up, and so what that means is they'll start working on forming and pouring the large concrete pedestal that'll support that large steel bowl when this whole thing is done. So over the course of the next month or two, you'll start to see that concrete column sort of rise out of the horizon. Other than that, Forest Street, that is in for MnDOT review. We're waiting some comments back from them, and you've approved us to advertise that project, which we're doing, and I should have bids for that for the May council meeting. Westlake Drive Phase 3, you just took action on at least what we're calling the core portion of that project. That is getting pretty well wrapped up. It's been submitted to MnDOT for review, and then it'll go on the shelf until later this fall when we're ready to bid that along with the beach portion of the project. The beach portion is the aspect that I think we have plenty of work yet to do on that. We have a meeting scheduled for next week where we're going to pick that back up now and start getting into the details of the exact elements of the beach, what's going to be carried forward, and working out through all those different details. Shorewood Drive we talked about. Continue to work with MnDOT on the Trunk Highway 10 East intersection study, kind of keep whittling down some of the options that are being considered out at that intersection. There's still a public engagement aspect to this that's scheduled for sometime probably in August of this summer. Any questions?
Any questions for John on the projects? Okay, Matt?
As discussed yesterday in Public Works, I would move this for approval.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt the city engineer's monthly status report. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. Not for Public Works, sir.
Okay, Finance Committee, Chairman Bulkey.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're going down to item 7D, 7C, excuse me. Actually, no, I'm gonna back up to 7A, excuse me. Was just discussion regarding the RFP for the former police department. Kelsey, a quick update?
Mayor and council, pretty short conversation. I didn't receive any proposals, so, we're just gonna kind of keep it available and keep it kind of in the back of our mind. If we can find a good tenant. We have some repairs and stuff we need to do to the HVAC, so we'll kind of work on that in the months ahead, and we'll just kind of keep it available. If we get someone interested, we'll bring it to the council.
Thank you. 7C is consideration to approving a memorandum of understanding with AFSCME. What this is the Public Works going to a 4-day work week, but also starting 2 weeks earlier than last year and going 2 weeks later. We discussed this at Finance Committee. I thought it was a great plan with Mr. Birthday, Sean King involved with this. So I so move.
Seconded.
Motion.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a memorandum of understanding with the AFSCME union regarding our Public Works Department. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 7D, consideration of resolution requesting advanced mutual state aid street funds. Heidi, if you could fill us in, please.
Sure thing. Mayor and Council, the resolution in your packet is the consideration to advance some of our municipal state aid street construction funds for a couple of street projects we have coming up. The 2025 Forest Street project, which we've been discussing, and then also the Shorewood Drive project. So what this resolution does is it allows us to basically utilize future allocations of our MSA dollars for these current projects. So basically, we're borrowing against our future allocations of those funds to utilize them now. We don't foresee there being a need for those funds in the next couple of years, and so utilize them now for these projects that need them, and then, excuse me, and then we'll let the fund replenish itself over the next couple of years before we tackle another MSA project.
Okay, thank you, Heidi.
This was discussed at length at the Finance Committee. It was a unanimous recommendation, so I move this forward.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a resolution requesting the advanced municipal state aid street funds. Discussion on the motion.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So are those funds fairly level? I mean, we're not looking at something
Yeah.
that changes like really significantly year by year.
Correct, yes. So the funding comes from the gas tax that folks pay. So we do get a fairly consistent allocation. It does generally increase slightly each year, with the caveat that back in 2020 during COVID, people weren't traveling as much, so our allocation did go down back then. In my career, that's really been the only instance I can recall where we've had sort of that decrease in funds. So with these two projects, I would foresee us, maybe needing a couple of years of our funds to get back into the black, so to speak, in our MSA fund, but we should be perfectly fine because we don't have any other MSA projects out on the horizon in the near future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 5E, consideration to approving a city park master plan proposal from HKGI. We had a Zoom call with Brian at the Finance Committee, but Kelsey, if you could fill us in.
Sure, Mayor and Council, just a little bit, HKGI is also the landscape architect that's been working on the Westlake Drive project. So this proposal would basically, to do, as it says, a master plan for City Park. This is kind of the first step in that pavilion slash city park improvement project. If you look at the proposal, it includes quite a bit of public input, really a way to engage the community, to get some feedback on and voice from the community about what they want City Park to look like, and incorporate that into an overall master plan. Of course, the focus of that will also be the pavilion and what I call the near pavilion improvements in the next couple of years.
This was discussed at Finance Committee today with a unanimous recommendation to move this forward.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve a city park master plan proposal from HKGI. Discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Chairman Dahlman is not here. Is there someone else on the committee that wants to fill us in on item 8A?
Yes, Your Honor, I've got that.
Okay.
Item 8A is really was a continuation of the discussion around City Park that happened both in the committee and actually in the council chamber when Lynn Schulberg addressed us. We reviewed several options that Chief Todd and his team brought forward of ways that we could respond. And there was a wide variety of things, but ultimately what we landed on was a proposal, and I want to, if I recall, the cost was probably around $2,000 for a kind of a temporary camera. It takes 110, only uses a standard plug-in, and uses cellular to upload those images. And it would be something that could be moved around or redeployed for various purposes. Chief Todd said that he would likely be able to cover that out of his own budget, so no action is needed here. But the first deployment for that camera, once he acquires everything, will be at City Park. As kind of a first step to take those responses, or to respond to that, and then will also be they'll also continue their standard patrols and things like that. He did bring some statistics about calls over the last several years as well, just for us to review and understand how that compares to other sites within the city. So that was really the bulk of the discussion, and no action needed by the council today.
Thank you, Sean.
That's it for public safety.
We're to the Liquor and Gambling Control Committee. I don't think there's any regular items, but Sean, there was an item you wanted to call our attention to?
I wanted to invite Mitch, the liquor store manager, up to talk, give us a few highlights from the 2023 State Municipal Liquor Store Report.
Mayor and Council.
Hey, Mitch.
Hi. So 2023, the audit came out by Julie Blaha down in the cities, and she does this every year for all the municipals in the state, which is pretty cool. It highlights all the stuff that we're doing and what we're up to and who's doing well and who's not doing so well. So I got a couple highlighted things that I pulled, or Heidi helped me pull. Lakes Liquors is ranked 6th overall in gross sales in the state, only behind 5 metro municipal liquor stores, which would be Lakeville, Richfield, Edina, Eden Prairie, Apple Valley, which all have 3 to 4 stores each. And we're doing that out of one. Lakes Liquors is $869,000 more in sales than the next highest non-metro city, which was Bemidji. 2.1 million more in sales over Alexandria, which has 2 stores. 1.8 million more than Fergus Falls, which also has 2 stores. Lakes Liquors is the highest operating income of all municipal liquor stores in the state. 1.3 million. Lakes Liquors has the second highest net income in the state. The only city who beat us out was Richfield, and it was by $4,900. Lakes Liquors operating expenses as a percentage of sales are extremely low at 12.82%. In fact, it's the second lowest in the state, with only Princeton being lower. Other municipal operations in the area like Perham, Modena, Fergus Falls, Alexandria, all have percentages ranging from 16.2 to 18.1. So we're thriving at Lakes Liquors.
Doing well. Good job.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you.
Appreciate the report.
Thank you.
Okay, we are down to the Public Utilities Commission. I'm gonna call on Alderman Stearns at this time.
Yes,
Mike?
Mr. Mayor, I was not in attendance at the Public Utilities Commission this morning, but they did meet and discuss item 10A, which is the consideration to a resolution declaring the official intent of the City of Detroit Lakes and Detroit Lakes Public Utilities to reimburse certain expenses from the proceeds of bonds to be issued by the City of Detroit Lakes and Detroit Lakes Public Utilities. So I have, Vernell has graciously offered to give us an update, but as I do understand, the Public Utilities Commission did vote to move it forward, so.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, that is correct. Councilmember Stearns, the commission met and approved this morning. I'll give you a little background on this, and I'll turn over to Heidi to explain this resolution. This is a reimbursement resolution for our new substation project adjacent to industrial sub, and also the new generation that will be going in on that site. I'm gonna turn over to Heidi. It's kind of a precursor, so if we expel funds prior to the issuance of the bonds, we can reimburse ourselves after we do the bonding for the project, so Heidi.
Well, that was a heck of a good summary, so I don't know if I have much to add to that, but yeah, so basically what this resolution does is enables us to expend funds on this project and still retain the ability to reimburse ourselves with the proceeds of those bonds when we do issue those. So usually you only are able to reimburse yourself with for expenditures that are within 60 days from when you issue those bonds, if they are construction type costs. And so this just preserves our ability to reimburse ourselves for any costs we might incur now up until when we issue those bonds.
Well, thank you both for that information. So as I mentioned, the Public Utilities Commission recommended approval, and I so move item 10A for approval.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt a resolution declaring the official intent of the city and the public utilities to reimburse expenses from the proceeds of bonds to be issued. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, thanks, Mike. I do have a name to recommend for the Arts and Culture Commission. That would be Hannah Jurina. I would entertain a motion for approval of Hannah.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The Becker County Assessor has notified the city that the Board of Review will be held on April 25th, right here at City Hall at 9:30. And we require 3 council members and myself, and we only have 2 council members right now. So which one of you is going to be the 3rd council member? We really need to have somebody, don't we? Carrie? So if nobody volunteers, I'm gonna assign somebody. Can I do that? I can try anyway, right?
I'm out of country.
Anybody? It's kind of an interesting thing. I mean,
If it wasn't a Friday.
Okay, I'll work behind the scenes then. We're running out of time, folks.
Sounds like something you'd.
Anything else from city staff? The joint governance dates are there. The council meeting dates are listed for the balance of the year. Anything else from staff, Kelsey or anybody? If not, Craig, anything further? Wendy?
I just wanted to say, I didn't know if it was the appropriate time when
I don't
Amy
need to,
was
I
here
just-
talking about the time licensing, but just a huge thank you again to Amy Stearns and Project 412 for putting Detroit Lakes on the map once again in such a big way. That's all I have.
Ron?
Yeah, and I want to thank Mary Briz Gildor for her love letter to the city.
Very nice.
That was a good one.
It was great.
Jackie?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Matt?
Two quick things. One, just kudos to Lakes Liquor and everybody that's over there, doing a heck of a job. So thank you, Mitch, and your staff. Two, I don't know if you guys heard, but it's Sean King's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Sean.
That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, Mike?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Sean?
I would like to say thanks to Chief Todd for taking the time to put together those options for how to respond to the city park issue. I know that takes time out of their schedule, but we sure appreciate their input.
Good. Jay?
No, good, I'm good.
The business of this council has come to a conclusion and the meeting's adjourned.